Today, I wish to consider theory aspect and the sum associated with that with reference to a chapter that is share capital transactions. The theory that I want to discuss is about forfeiture of shares and reissue of shares. I am going to solve one sum taking into consideration the theory aspect. First observe the sum, then I will discuss the theory. In light of the discussion of theory, I will solve the sum. Please pay attention. Write journal entries for forfeiture and reissue of forfeited shares in following cases. I have given you 3 cases in this sum. First, company forfeited 500 equity shares of ₹10 each of a shareholder for non-payment of allotment money, ₹3 per share, and final call of ₹3 per share. Forfeited shares have been reissued at ₹7 per share. So here the shares are issued at par. So the shareholder has not paid. What? Company demanded allotment, company demanded the final call, that shareholder has not paid. What is the course of action that company takes against the shareholder? That course of action that company takes against the shareholder is known as forfeiture of shares. So here the shares are issued at par. There is a non-payment of allotment and final call, so company has not received allotment and final call from a shareholder which was promised by him. So if he is not complying with the promise, what course of action company can take against that shareholder, that consequence is known as forfeiture. In the second, a shareholder holding 400 shares of ₹10 each has paid application money 3 per share and allotment money ₹5 per share including premium. These shares were forfeited for non-payment of call of ₹4 per share. Forfeited shares were reissued at ₹8 per share. Now see here. In the second situation, the shares are issued at premium. First was shares were issued at par. In second situation, shares were issued at premium. And the premium that was asked, the shareholder has already paid the premium. But he has not paid the final call. So company has not received the final call and his shares are forfeited for non-payment of final call. That's the second situation. Observe the third one. Company forfeited 200 shares of ₹100 each, issued at a discount of 10 per share. Holders of these shares has not paid final call of ₹35 per share. Company reissued all the forfeited shares at ₹75 per share. So in the third situation, the shares were issued at discount for non-payment of calls. Company has forfeited the shares. So here there are 3 situations. 1, shares are issued at par, forfeited and reissued. Shares are issued at premium, premium is received and the shares are forfeited for non-payment of final call. In the third situation, shares are issued originally at discount. For non-payment, shares are forfeited and the reissue. This is what we want to consider in the theory part. And with reference to the discussion of that theory, we are going to solve these 3 sums. Now observe, let us go to the theory part in more details. What is the effect of forfeiture? There are 3 effects for forfeiture. Now first let us understand what is forfeiture. If any terms and conditions for an agreement not complied with, then the aggrieved party has a right as per the agreement to forfeit. So here the shareholder has applied for the shares, has promised the payment to the company, amount due on allotment first call and final call. If that payment of allotment first call and final call not paid by the shareholder, so company has not received the amount demanded from the shareholder, so there is a breach of contract. And when there is a breach of contract, company holds the right to forfeit the amount already paid by the shareholders, and those shares which were allotted to him do not stand in his name in the register of company. So the first effect of forfeiture of shares: right, title and interest of shareholder extinguishes. Now what are the rights of the shareholders on shares being allotted? He has a right to vote, he has a right to participate in dividend. These are the rights of the shareholders. These rights extinguishes, comes to an end. Why? Because of forfeiture of shares. Title is also extinguishes. Now shareholder was allotted shares, he was the owner of share, he was having a title on the shares. By forfeiture, he loses the title. Now he cannot sell the shares, he cannot transfer the shares. Interest of the shareholder extinguishes. Interest means the shareholder was allotted shares, he was the owner of the shares. As he was the owner of the shares, his interest under ownership is to mortgage the shares. One of the interest is to mortgage the shares. Now, as the shares are forfeited, he cannot mortgage those shares and borrow money thereagainst. So, right, title and interest of the shareholder extinguishes by forfeiture. Amount received against capital and security premium to the date of forfeiture is not refundable. So, what is the second effect of forfeiture? The amount not paid is a ground cause for forfeiture. What is the consequence of forfeiture? Whatever the amount he has already paid against capital or premium is not refundable, and not refundable, and also the shareholder loses the title, interest and rights over the shares. Okay. Right to receive amount due but not received from the defaulting shareholder is also lost. The third consequence: the amount unpaid by the shareholders was the amount unpaid by a shareholder was a recoverable amount in the books of company, was amount due from the shareholders in the books of the company. By forfeiture, we can't get those recoverable amount from the shareholders. So right to recover amount due from the shareholder is also lost, is also comes to an end. So there are three consequences. One, right, title and interest extinguishes. Amount already received by the company is not refundable. Whether the amount is against capital or premium, whatever it may be, the amount received against the share allotted is not refundable, and the amount which is due but not received is now not recoverable. These are the three effects of forfeiture. Now, I want to discuss the forfeiture of shares which were issued at par or at premium, and the full amount of premium is received. So what option I want to consider? One, shares are originally issued at par, forfeited and reissued. Shares were originally issued at premium, premium is received, share forfeited for non-payment and reissued. This is what I want to consider. The next consideration will be shares issued at discount, forfeited for non-payment and reissued. Fourth consideration that we shall discuss: shares issued at premium, premium is not received, other calls are also not received, and shares are forfeited, and these shares are reissued. These are the various options which we are going to consider in the theory discussion of forfeiture and reissue of shares. Now here shares are issued at par, shares are issued at premium, premium has been received, capital demanded is not received, and we want to forfeit the shares and reissue the shares. That option we are considering. When the premium has already been received, in this situation, premium is already received. Security premium was credited on due basis. So security premium was an income of the capital income of the company that was credited to security premium on due basis when the amount was recoverable. The recoverable amount was debited, share allotment account debit, share first call account debit, share final call account debit, etc. So recoverable amount was debited and security premium account was credited on due basis at the time of demanding the allotment and call scenarios. And this premium has already been received. So what has happened? Security premium account was credited on due basis and the amount is already received. Now at the time of forfeiture, the security premium already received should not be debited. Why not debited? Because it is not refundable. It cannot be cancelled. Is not debited on forfeiture of the shares as a security premium already received by the company cannot be cancelled. The security premium once accredited cannot be debited for any other reasons other than provided in company law. So it cannot be cancelled and it is not refundable even if the shares are forfeited. So what is the important aspect? Security premium was credited on due basis, amount is already received. On forfeiture of shares, amount is not refundable. So security premium account cannot be debited while writing the forfeiture entry. So security premium is not considered in a forfeiture entry when it has already been received. That's the principle. Now, when all amount due on allotment not received. Now amount demanded with allotment not received. That recoverable amount stands in which title of account? Whether it stands in the books of accounts while writing the previous entry, it stands in allotment areas account, or amount was not transferred to allotment areas account, but the amount not received stands as a debit balance in allotment account. These are the two situations. So due on allotment not received has been transferred to allotment areas account. Similarly, the first call and other calls not received have been transferred to calls in areas account. So first call demanded, amount not received. The recoverable amount was transferred to calls in areas account. Last call demanded, amount not received was transferred to calls in areas account. If such is the situation, how to write the forfeiture entry? In such situation, the accounting journal entry for forfeiture will be recorded. How? Look at it. Share capital account debit. Now see, share capital account is debited. With what? With capital called up on shares forfeited. Now, when the shares were allotted, share capital account was credited. When the shares are forfeited, share capital account is debited. With what value? Whatever the amount previously credited against capital for those shares, the same amount of capital is to be debited. Now, what amount of capital was credited? The amount was credited against capital was equal to the capital demanded. Suppose the final call is not demanded, then the capital called up is face value minus final call. So only called up capital on forfeiture shares, that share capital account is to be debited because the right, title and interest of the shareholder extinguishes. So share capital account is debited. Why? On allotment, capital account was credited. On forfeiture, capital account is to be debited, reversed. What amount amount is debited, whatever the amount was credited against capital account, the same amount is to be debited. So called up capital is to be debited. For that, number of shares forfeited into called up capital per share, this is how the amount is worked out. To share forfeiture account, now see. On forfeiture, three effects. Which are the three effects? Right, title and interest of shareholders extinguishes. Amount already received against capital and premium not refundable. The capital sum, capital received against share forfeited is not refundable. So it becomes the income of the company, and the name of that income is share forfeiture income. So share forfeiture incomes are credited. So share forfeiture account is to be credited with what? Number of shares multiplied by capital received per share. Capital received per share on shares forfeited. Next. Now, called up capital is cancelled. Amount already received is credited to forfeiture account. Now, what about amount due but not received? They are not recoverable. There is a third consequence. So that amount, allotment arrears account is to be credited, because allotment due but not received was transferred to allotment arrears account. So allotment arrears account is to be credited. So number of shares forfeited into allotment due not received per share. And similarly, calls in arrears account is to be credited. So calls in arrears account stands for what? Calls demanded but not received. And the amount that could not be recovered, could not be received against the demand, that is transferred to calls in arrears account. So calls in arrears account is a debit balance that gets credited. So by this entry, what happens? Allotment arrears account gets closed and this calls in arrears account gets closed. This is how the forfeiture entry is to be recorded. But suppose that the allotment due not received was not transferred to allotment arrears account. Calls demanded but not received were not transferred to calls in arrears account, but the amount stands in the respective account. Then how the forfeiture entry gets recorded, that I want to mention next. Number of shares, calls due. This is done. When all amount due on allotment not received have not been transferred to allotment arrears, first and find other calls due were not transferred to calls in arrears account, but dues not received stands as a debit balance in the respective account. Then how the entries are recorded? In such situation, the accounting entry that recorded is share capital account debit, number of shares forfeited multiplied by called up capital per share. Share forfeiture account is to be credited with number of shares forfeited multiplied by capital received per share. Equity share allotment account credit, number of shares forfeited multiplied by allotment due not received. Share calls account, number of shares forfeited multiplied by calls, first call, final call, etc. not received per share. This is how the forfeiture entry recorded under the second situation. Now I want to talk about the reissue of the shares forfeited. That is the next theory part that I want to take care of. Observe it. Reissue of forfeited shares. Now see. Very important concept. By forfeiture of shares, the right, title and interest of the shareholder extinguishes. That comes to an end. So now that shareholder is no longer our owner of shares forfeited. Then who is the owner of these shares? Company. Company cannot become the owner of its own shares. So these shares forfeited are held by a company for the purpose of reissue. Forfeited shares has to be reissued by the company, and by that the new person who is allotted shares, who is given the forfeited shares, subrogates the shoes of defaulting shareholder. That's a very important concept. Forfeited shares based in the company only for sale, not under the ownership, or reissued by the company, and has to be reissued by the company. The reissue of shares is not an allotment by the company, but is an obligation to subrogate the earlier allotment. So new allotment substitutes the old allotment. This is what has to be done by the company from the legal point of view. Next. The procedure prescribed in Articles of Association for reissue of forfeited shares must be complied with, wherein these shares may be issued either at par, so reissue at par, or at discount, reissue at discount, or reissue at premium. But loss on discount on reissue of shares should not exceed the forfeited amount which is credited to share forfeiture account at the time of forfeiture of these shares. This is a very important concept. Now when we reissue forfeited shares, how can it be reissued? It can be reissued at par, it can be reissued at discount, it can be reissued at premium. If the forfeited shares are reissued at par, what happens? The entire forfeiture income becomes a capital income of the company, and the share forfeiture account balance gets transferred to capital reserve. Suppose that these forfeited shares are reissued at premium, so amount charged is more than the face value. In that situation also, the share forfeiture income that stands as a credit balance in share forfeiture account that gets transferred to capital reserve account, because that forfeiture income is not applied at the time of reissue of forfeited shares. Now the third situation, if the forfeited shares are reissued at a discount, so share of 10 given at a price of 8 at the time of reissue, share of 10 given at a price of 6 at the time of reissue, then what has happened? We have granted a reissue discount. This reissue discount is other than original discount with which shares are issued. So shares are issued at discount, that's an original discount that is available to all applicants, while reissue discount is a special discount which is granted and given to a new allottee of forfeited shares. Don't mix up two discounts. Shares originally issued at normal discount is one discount, and discount granted specifically at the time of reissue of shares, which is other than the original discount, that is known as reissue discount, special discount. Now that discount, special discount, reissue discount granted, that discount can never exceed the forfeiture income of these shares which has been reissued. Now the forfeiture income per share is the maximum discount that can be granted by the company at the time of reissue of shares. So maximum discount that is permissible is always equal to the forfeiture income per share. That's a very important concept. So suppose that forfeiture income per share is 4 rupees and the special reissue discount granted per share is 3 rupees. So 4 rupees was the forfeiture income per share, 3 is the reissue discount granted. So discount granted is less by 1 rupee. That share forfeiture income left After reissue of share, that gets transferred to capital reserve. Very important concept. If the loss on reissue of forfeited shares is less than the amount forfeited on such shares, the surplus should be transferred to capital reserve. As I told to you, 1 rupee gets transferred to capital reserve. Now, after discussing forfeiture and reissue aspect, I want to solve the sum that was demonstrated to you at the inception of this lecture. Now see. Now I want to talk about, we are going to consider that sum which has been shown at the inception. Now I want to talk about another aspect. Journal entry for reissue of forfeited shares at reissue discount were originally allotted at par or at premium. Excess of forfeited called up capital over the reissue price of a forfeited share is a loss or a discount on reissue of forfeited shares. Such loss is to be debited to forfeiture account, share forfeiture account. Now see, I have already discussed the theory, 3 points in the three theory points for reissue of shares. Now I want to write down the journal entry for that, and after that we shall take into consideration the sum. Now I write the reissue entry. Bank account debit, number of shares reissued multiplied by reissue price per share. Share forfeiture account, number of shares reissued multiplied by reissue discount per share. To share capital account credit, number of shares reissued into called up capital per share. This is how the entry recorded at the time of reissue shares. Reissue price, number of shares reissued multiplied by reissue price, with that bank account is debited. As I explained to you, what is reissue discount? A special discount granted at the time of reissue of shares, reallotment of shares. That special discount has to be given out of share forfeiture income. As that special discount is to be given out of share forfeiture income, share forfeiture account is to be debited for that. And the called up capital which has been cancelled at the time of forfeiture entry, that gets credited to share capital account once again on reallotment of shares. Now look at the journey of share capital account. When shares were originally allotted, amount called up thereon was credited to share capital account. On forfeiture, the same amount that has been credited to capital account gets debited. Now the same share capital account once again gets credited on reissue of forfeited shares. This is a journey of share capital account. Now, this is the forfeiture entry. This is a narration. Now I want to write the entry for transfer to capital reserve. What amount should be transferred to capital reserve account? Number of shares reissued multiplied by share forfeiture income per share. That's the total forfeiture income. From that, number of shares multiplied by reissue discount granted, that is the concession granted from forfeiture income, that has been debited to forfeiture account. Now total credit minus total debit is the net balance that is to be transferred to capital reserve account. But this is how the amount is worked out. The journal entry for that is share forfeiture account debit to capital reserve account credit. This is the entry. Now after explaining all these things, let us start with the sum. See, company forfeited 500 equity shares of rupees 10 each of a shareholder for non-payment of allotment money rupees 3 per share and final call of rupees 3 per share. Forfeited shares were reissued at rupees 7 per share. Now this is a sum wherein we are going to apply the theory that has been discussed. Now this is a theory session actually. After explaining the theory, if I take one sum, your concepts about theory will be more clear. So I have taken this sum. Look at the working that I prepared. The working is made for your better understanding. Once you are quite thorough with the understanding, no need to go for detailed writing of this working as you find on the screen. By that understanding, you can apply the understanding and write the journal entry straight. Let us start. Company has forfeited how many shares? 500 shares. Each share is of rupees 10 each. For non-payment of allotment money. Allotment money is rupees 3 per share. Non-payment, so 500 into 3, 1500 not received. Non-payment of final call rupees 3 per share. So 500 into 3, 1500 not received. Now 3 plus 3, 6 is the allotment and final call. How much is the application money? Share is of 10. Allotment is 3. Final call is 3. What is the application money? 10 minus 3 minus 3. That is the application money. That has already been received. Let us just observe the same thing on the screen. Share of 10 each. Amount demanded with allotment and final call is 6. So 4 rupees is the application money. 500 into 4. This has been received. Now called up capital per share is 10. Amount not received is 6. Capital received is 4. This is understanding. This is what we require for the purpose of writing the forfeiture entry. Observe it. Now when the shares are forfeited, right title and interest of shareholder extinguishes. When the shares were allotted, capital account, share capital account was credited. When they are forfeited, share capital account is debited with what? Called up capital. So equity share capital account debit, called up capital is how much? 10. 500 into 10, 5000 is the capital. That has been already credited in the books of the company when the amount was demanded. So this called up capital is cancelled. So share capital account debit 5000. Now see, this capital is already received, which is not refundable, which is not going to be given back to the shareholder who has applied for the shares and whose shares are forfeited for non-payment of allotment and final call. So this capital received is transferred to share forfeiture income account, to equity share forfeiture account. The allotment not received 1500. Either that amount not received stands in allotment arrears account or it stands in the share allotment account itself. So that depends upon how the previous entries have been recorded. On the basis of that, this amount to be credited follows in forfeiture entry. So here, allotment not received, equity share allotment account credit. So the allotment not received was not transferred to allotment arrears account. It stands in the share allotment account itself. It has a debit balance. Now by crediting this share allotment account in this fashion, share allotment account gets closed. Similarly, final call not received stands credited, is credited to share final call account. Final call not received was not transferred to calls in arrears account. That's a presumption. In light of that, I have credited here share final call account because the final call not received stands as a debit balance in share final call account. Now, these shares are reissued at a price of rupees 7 per share. So 500 shares reissued at a price of 7 per share. Share of 10 each reissued at a price of 7 per share. So reissue discount is rupees 3 per share. That reissue discount has to be granted from this forfeiture income. Now see, 500 into 7, 3,500 amount received. Bank account debit, 3,500. Now see this share capital, called up capital, that is cancelled, debited to share capital account. The same 5,000 gets credited over here. And 5,000 minus 3,500, 1,500 is a reissue discount, special discount. That has to be given out of this forfeiture income. So share forfeiture account is to be debited with the reissue discount. Look at the reissue discount. Share of 10 issued at 7, reissue discount is 3. 500 into 3, 1,500 is the reissue discount. That discount is given out of share forfeiture income. So share forfeiture account debit 1,500 to equity share capital account credit. See this 5,000 is credited. Now what was the forfeiture income? 2,000. How much reissue discount granted there against 1,500? So 2,000 minus 1,500 is the net balance of forfeiture account that gets transferred to capital reserve. So next entry is share forfeiture account, equity share forfeiture account debit to capital reserve account. What amount? 2,000 minus 1,500. The same 500 could be explained to you in a different way. You have received 3,500 on reissue of shares. Why you were required to reissue shares? Because shares were forfeited. Why shares were forfeited? By non-payment by the shareholders. How much amount was not paid? 1,500 plus 1,500, 3,000 were not paid. So 3,000 not paid by one applicant is a reason for getting this 3,500 rupees. So non-payment of 3,000 has resulted in a receipt of 3,500. 500 is your net surplus, net income. That's transferred to capital reserve. This is another way to explain the same concept. So 2,000 minus 1,500, 500. Share forfeiture account debit to capital reserve account credit. This is how we have recorded the entry for forfeiture reissue and transfer of forfeiture balance to capital reserve. I have tried to explain you this forfeiture and reissue entries. Observe the working that I have prepared for your better understanding, that I am going to prepare in all the sums to come. But I advise, once you have followed all these things, write these journal entries in the examination hall out of your clear understanding in the mind. No need to waste this much of time in examination for writing these elaborate notes. This elaborate notes is prepared by the teacher for your better understanding. I want to imbibe understanding in your mind, and that understanding should flower in a manner that you can write the entries in this fashion straight. That's my intention. But to have a thorough understanding, this is necessary. That's why I am doing. Now I want to consider this a total. I am going to demonstrate all these journal entries at the end, wherein you will find the narration for all these journal entries. Next. A shareholder holding 400 shares of rupees 10 each has paid application money 3 per share, allotment money 5 per share including premium 2 per share. These shares were forfeited for non-payment of final call, that is 4. Forfeited shares were reissued at rupees 8 per share. Now see, here the shares are issued at premium originally. Premium was demanded with allotment. Allotment money is already received. So premium is already received. When the allotment money was demanded, on due basis, share premium, security premium account was credited. Premium is already received. On forfeiture, this premium is not refundable. So share premium account will not be debited in forfeiture entry. So share premium account already received has no role to play in share forfeiture entry. That's an important understanding. Now observe the working that I am going to prepare for your better understanding. Number of shares forfeited are 400. Share is of 10 each. Application money demanded per share is 3. 400 into 3, 1200 rupees are received. Allotment demanded rupees 5 including premium rupees 2. 400 into 5, 2000 rupees are received. Now this 3 plus 3, 6, share of 10, capital 6, 10 minus 6, final call is of what amount? 10 minus 6, 4. You are already given the submit that 4. Now this final call, 400 into 4, 600 not received. This not received is the reason for forfeiture of shares. Now, whenever you are to write down the entry for forfeiture, first step, find out the capital called up, which is to be cancelled. For that, share capital account is debited, capital received is transferred to share forfeiture account, amount not received is to be recorded either calls in arrears account or share final call account. Now, journal entries. When you work out the called up capital, I don't say called up amount is to be debited. I say called up capital is to be debited. Premium is already received. So premium account is not to be debited as I told you. So called up capital other than premium. So 3 plus 3 plus 4, 10 is the called up capital. And that capital gets cancelled. So share capital account debit 4,000. Premium received is not debited in forfeiture entry. So capital received is how much? 2,000 is the amount with premium. So 2,000 minus 800 is the premium. So 1,200 is the capital. This 1,200 is the capital. So total capital received is 1,200 plus 1,200, 2,400. This 2,400 capital received is credited to share forfeiture account. Now 1,600, 1,600 not received. Share final call account is credited because this amount stands as a debit balance in share final call account. So share final call account is credited. This is how the forfeiture entry gets recorded. Now these shares are reissued at a price of 8 per share. Share of 10 reissued at a price of 8 per share. 2 is the reissue discount. This discount is other than normal discount that is given to all shareholders at the time of original issue. So this is a special discount, reissue discount. How much is the reissue discount? Share of 10 given at a price of 8, reissue discount is 2. Number of shares forfeited, number of shares are 400, 400 into 2, 800 is the reissue discount. That discount has to be given from this forfeiture income. Now bank account debit 3,200, 10 minus 8, 2 is the reissue discount. On 400 shares at 2 rupees, 800 is the reissue discount as I explained. Now entry bank account debit with the amount received. This concession granted from this income is known as forfeiture income. That has been credited to forfeiture account. From that income, concession is granted, discount is granted, that is known as reissue discount. So share forfeiture account debit 800 to equity share capital account credit. The capital that was cancelled now gets credited. Now 1,200 plus 1,200, 2,400. From their concession discount granted 800. Difference is transferred to which account? Capital reserve. The other way to explain why you received 3,200 on reissue, because you could not receive 1,600 on original allotment. So reason you got 3,200, the reason for you got this 3,200 is the non-recovery of 1,600. So you could not recover 1,600, there against you could recover 3,200. So 3,200 minus 1,600, 1,600 is the amount to be transferred to capital reserve. This is another explanation. So normally general students apply this understanding 2,400 minus 800. That is also 1,600. That's transferred to capital reserve. So equity share forfeiture account debit to capital reserve account credit. This is our journal entry for forfeiture and reissue gets recorded. I'll demonstrate all these entries at the end with narration. Now I want to consider the next aspect of theory. When the shares are originally issued at discount and they are forfeited for non-payment of any call or allotment, how the forfeiture entry, reissue entry gets recorded. That's my next concern. Observe it. On forfeiture of shares which were issued at discount, in such situation, now see, when shares are originally issued at discount, discount is generally granted to all shareholders because it is a concession granted at the time of offering the shares to the public. So, discount on issue of shares was debited for discount allowed at the time of original issue of shares. Same discount is reversed. When the discount was granted at the time of original issue, share discount account was debited. On forfeiture, the same share discount account gets credited because on forfeiture, that discount which was originally granted allowed gets disallowed. So share discount account that was debited at the time of original allotment of shares, that same share discount account gets credited in a forfeiture entry, being it gets disallowed on forfeiture. The accounting journal entry in this situation is share capital account debit with what amount? Number of shares forfeited multiplied by called up capital per share. This called up capital per share inclusive of discount, because share capital account is credited against share discount account being debited. So called up capital is inclusive of discount. Share forfeiture account, number of shares forfeited into capital received per share. Discount on issue of shares which were originally debited gets credited, now it gets disallowed. Look at it. Discount previously allowed gets disallowed on forfeiture. Share calls account, if the amount not received has been transferred to allotment area or calls in arrears account, then here we will record allotment arrears or calls in arrears account. Otherwise, share allotment account or share equity final call which is due but not received, that gets credited in forfeiture entry as I have explained to you. Now, number of shares into calls due, not received per share. This is how the forfeiture entry gets recorded. Now I want to write down the reissue entry. Excess of called up capital less normal discount on original issue over the issue price of forfeited shares is a loss or discount on reissue of forfeited shares. Such loss is debited to share forfeiture account or forfeited shares account. Now see, when you reissue shares, what you have to do? When original allotment discount was allowed, share discount account was debited. On forfeiture, same share discount account was credited. Now at the time of reissue, same original share discount account once again gets debited. That's an important concept that one should understand. Now here, when these shares originally issued at discount are now reissued. At the time of reissue, there are two types of discount. One originally allowed to all shareholders stands as discount, and the additional concession, special discount on reissue is granted. So that's another discount. That another discount is to be debited to share forfeiture account, and the original discount is to be debited to share discount account. at the time of reissue of such shares. Bank account debit, number of shares reissued into reissue price per share, discount on issue of shares, number of shares reissued multiplied by original discount per share, share forfeiture account, number of shares reissued multiplied by reissue discount per share. This is a special discount. To share capital account, the capital that was cancelled and debited in forfeiture entry gets credited over here. Now once again, number of shares reissued into called up capital per share. Now, the reissued discount is to be deducted from share forfeiture income, and the net balance of share forfeiture income that gets transferred to capital reserve. So capital received on number of shares reissued, this capital was received at the time of forfeiture. From that you are required to deduct the reissue discount. The net balance is the gain, capital reserve. Journal entry for that is share forfeiture account debit to capital reserve account credit. This is how reissue entry and transfer to capital reserve gets recorded. Now I want to take sum thereof. Look at the sum. I read for you. Company forfeited 200 shares of 100 each, issued at a discount of ₹10 per share. Holders of this share has got paid final call of ₹35 per share. Company reissued all the forfeited shares at 75 per share. Now look at the working. Number of shares forfeited are 200, share is of 100 each. Final call 35. So 100 minus 35. 65 is the total amount including discount. Discount is ₹10 per share. So 55 is the application, allotment and discount all together make 65. 55 is the amount to be received and 10 is the discount allowed. So this is how capital base of 100 is made of 100. Now 200 into 10, this is the share discount, original discount. 200 into 55 is the capital received thereon, and this final column is not received. This is the situation. On original allotment, called up capital was 100. On that discount allowed was 2000, means 10 rupees per share. Capital received per share is 55. Capital not received 35 per share. On 200 shares it has been worked out. Now on forfeiture, called up capital is cancelled. What's the called up capital? Including discount 100 per share. So 200 into 100, 20,000. Share capital account debit. Capital already received is the forfeiture income. So equity share forfeiture account credit 11,000. Share final call account, amount due but not received. Share discount account. Look at the journey of share discount account. On original allotment, share discount account was debited. On forfeiture, share discount account is credited. And at the time of reissue of shares, once again, the share discount account is debited. Here in forfeiture entry, share discount account is credited. Notice it. Now these shares are reissued at a price of 75. So share of 100 issued at a price of 75. Share of 100 issued at a price of 75. So total discount is 25. Out of total discount 25, 10 is the general discount. And 25 minus 10, 15 is the special reissue discount. This is 10 is a general discount. So 75, 10, 85. 100 minus 85. 15 is the reissue discount, special discount. So this is a reissue discount. This discount is given out of forfeiture income. This general discount, as I told you, a journey of this discount account. When original allotment, share discount debit. At the time of forfeiture, same share discount account is credited. Once again, when the shares are reissued, same normal discount account gets debited. So now what's the journal entry for reissue? Amount received 15,000, bank account debit. This reissue discount is given out of forfeiture income, so share forfeiture account debit. Equity share discount account debit, that is normal general discount granted on the original issue. To share capital account credit 20,000. Now what is the capital received? 11,000. How much discount granted there against? 3,000. 11,000 minus 3,000, that gets transferred to capital reserve. Or the another way to explain the same concept, I received 15,000. Why? Because I could not receive 7,000. I could not collect, being company, I could not collect 7,000 final call. So I was required to forfeit the shares and reissue the shares. So on reissue share I got 15,000. So 15,000 rupees are received. The reason thereof is non-receipt of 7,000. So my net gain is 8,000. That gets transferred to capital reserve. That's another way to explain the same concept. Next. Now 11,000 minus 3,000. Equity share forfeiture account debit to capital reserve account credit. This is how entry for forfeiture, reissue and transfer to capital reserve gets recorded. Now I want to demonstrate all the entries at one place with narration. This is how your sum should appear in examination. I have tried to explain this concept of forfeiture and reissue under two instances. Shares are issued at par, forfeited and reissued. Shares are issued at premium, premium is received. These shares are forfeited for non-payment and reissued. Shares are issued at discount, forfeited or non-payment of any call or allotment, and they are reissued. These three aspects I have considered. Now in next sum, that I am going to consider the theory aspect. Shares are issued at premium. Premium is not received. These shares are forfeited and they are reissued. That I am going to consider in my next session. I think you must have followed all these things. Thanks to all of you.